Hi, it's Hen. So today we are coming back to the first draft of your speech that you wrote today. We'll be dirting it, rewriting it and improving it to make your second draft. So what you need to do for task 1 is you've got a grid where it says assessment objectives on one side and explanation what to do on the other. You need to break down these assessment objectives and then explain them in your own words, so words that you can look back and understand, so you have a accessible version of the mark scheme. This is taken off the distinction section of the mark scheme because you're more than able of getting a distinction. So what you need to do is that broken down in these 4 sections on the mark scheme itself, that's how we laid out. You need to achieve all of these to tick that box off, and so on and so forth. If you're seeing here struggling to find an explanation of what to do, find my video from the other day. I'll pop it in handouts for you, a link to it anyway, of what each assessment objective is asking of you. So there's that one. Do give it a go without it, but if you are struggling, there's that video to watch as well. What you've got to do for task 2 is explain or write a definition for all the rhetorical devices we have learnt this half term. Writing definitions, a recap, but also you're going to be needing to understand and use these for the next task. Speaking of the next task, let's move on to it. So for task 3, go back to the lesson from X. There will be a date on your version of this. I just haven't uploaded it yet. So what you need to do is go to the date of that lesson, where my lovely yellow X's are, but you'll have a date. Copy and paste the first draft of your speech and feedback into this box. Whack it in there and have a read through of your speech and the feedback I have left you. Now task 4. What I'd like you to do is, look, the rhetorical devices are popping up again. Read through your speech and mark if you have or haven't used them. You can put a tick or a cross, a yes or a no, whichever works for you, but do tally which ones you've used and which ones you haven't. When you've done that, you should have a selection of yeses, nos, ticks and crosses. List the ones you haven't included here, just there. Actually, you can't see your pointing, I'll highlight it, just here. That will have a tick list of what else you can improve on when you rewrite your speech and dirt it. Task 5, this is where you can be rewriting your speech. So, rewrite your speech, include all the language devices and the specific EBI I have left you. So, by what language devices or rhetorical devices, if you have a list of them here, do include them into your speech. Also, include my EBI and rewrite or improve or edit, whatever's specific to your particular EBI. I would put an EBI speech breakdown in the handouts, which will go more in detail of how to improve the particular EBI. So if you're a bit confused with that, go over to that handout. I think it's called Speech EBIs, and write your improved speech here. Task 5 and 6 you can be a little bit flexible with the timings with. It gives you an hour of rewriting. But you might need slightly longer on task 6 or slightly longer on task 5, so you can use these timings a little bit loosely in sense of what you think you particularly need. So now I'll explain task 6 for you. Read through your speech and highlight all the boring or bland adjectives or adverbs. What I mean by bland or boring is generic and lacking in detail which gives connotations. For example, you could use, I did put an example in for you, sad. You could use melancholy, forlorn and depressing instead of sad, because they all have slightly different connotations to them. Sad's very all-encompassing, without lacking specificity. No, I struggle with some S words. Melancholy, that has the connotation, for me anyway, that sadness which lingers, but is not as dark and deep as other sadness, more of an aura you have around you. Forlorn, for me, has connotations of being lost or hopeless or no longer having a purpose and that kind of empty feeling. Depressing for me is more of a deep, dark sadness which eats into your core. So when you choose specific words, especially more finessed words or detailed words or subject-specific terminology, it adds texture and flavour to your writing. I've put a thesaurus link here for you if you don't have one, so what you need to do is replace your bland or boring adjectives in your speech. I hope that makes sense of what you've got to do today. If you have any difficulties with the lesson, please email me. I'll be going through your OneNote and helping you as always. Thank you.